listening to the Reckless Takes Podcast, covering sports, lifestyle, and nearly everything in between. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time to get reckless.
Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by FreezerSports.com. Whether you are a new or experienced sports gambler, if you have not used a consultant site, you are missing out. FreezerSports.com utilizes advanced machine learning technology to predict sporting events and find you value lines. Visit the website today, that's FreezerSports.com, to view their predictions from their NHL, NBA, and MLB models, all for free. Yes, for free. FreezerSports.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Reckless Takes Podcast. I am your co-host, Kyle, and I'm here with my co-host,
Randy, aka the Giblet King, come back at y'all with another one.
And we are joined today by a couple of new guests on the pod. First of all, I got my boy David, long friend.
What's going on?
And I'm sorry, I don't think I forget our other guest's name. It's Randy's boy. What's your name, brother?
Super wavy, baby.
Wavy, government name James, though.
Government name James. All right. So you
His Christian name is
people
James.
call me Wavy, bro.
You go by Wavy. Okay. Bet. All right. Guys, we're here today to talk about the first round of the playoffs. And we always record on Sundays, so it's our benefit that we got a couple of games to kind of help us with our judgment. We have 2 days of playoff games, 8 total. What series you want to talk about first?
Let's go ahead and start with the Sixers and Wizards. Let's get that shit out the way.
Gosh, yeah, let's just do that. Let's
For
just do
sure.
that now. Oh my God.
Let's talk about the Tobias Harris show.
Yeah,
Bro,
so-
I was literally about to say I didn't know he could ball like that, to be honest.
All right,
Yeah, ball,
76ers and Wizards. So
Hooper.
right now, this series is 1-0. Philadelphia leads after a 125-118 win. Obviously, the two standouts on each team, Bradley Beal and maybe not so obvious Tobias Harris for the 76ers. So I had to watch the highlights of this one. I was out today, but David, what stands out to you most about the matchup going forward in this series?
The Bradley Beal's injury rose didn't look too bad. I thought they were going to come into play. I honestly thought the Sixers were going to run away with it. And honestly, that was kind of the running theme today, where it was just like, I thought this was going to happen, and the exact opposite happened. We'll talk more about it like with the Lakers series, but
Yeah.
It's going to take Westbrook and Beal to score like crazy points. I mean, they really have nothing else besides that. Davis Bertans is kind of underachieved. I mean, considering how much he gets paid, you think he would, score at least a little bit more than what he did.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the stats right now.
Did anything
but-
really catch you off guard that you were expecting that didn't come through today?
The Philadelphia's defense was kind of lacking. I thought they were gonna take over in that fourth quarter, and they kind of let the Wizards hang around a little bit more. I thought they were gonna I thought they were just gonna shut them down, and they kind of let the Wizards stick around for a little bit, much longer than they should have. But Seth Curry made some good shots like towards the end. I think he made like 2 big shots. Danny Green too, to kind of pull them away a little bit, but it shouldn't have been that close considering how much Tobias went off today.
Yeah. Wavy, brother, what did you see from the matchup today?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with your boy. Yeah, I really was looking at Seth off the bench. He hit some clutch shots.
Yeah, man. Seth
Tobias,
is a
man,
super underrated role player.
when he hit he was like 6 for 7 in the first quarter. I was like, dang. But
I think he had like 23 points in the first half, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
No.
and I when I checked the score, like mid third quarter, Joel Embiid had only played 17 minutes, and I was pretty caught off guard that he didn't play basically the entire first half. But he finishes with 30 minutes, and so you think that's just a kind of put him on ice situation? If we can get through it without him playing 42, why not? Because everyone knows the stereotype of Joel Embiid can't stay healthy late into the playoffs. So I mean, it'd be great if Tobias can carry the show and Joel can kind of relax going in. Randy, so you predicted that the Wizards are going to win this series, and
I'm still predicting, baby. I'm still
you're not
predicting.
You're not
Actually,
down.
it ain't a prediction. It's what's gonna happen. All right.
I hope the hands go right back on the hands go right back on the table.
Sorry, bro. Damn. I'll keep them down for you, bro.
Are you discouraged at all by this or no?
No, I mean, a lot of people thought they were gonna get blown out, and they didn't get blown out.
Mhm.
They were in the game the whole time. Bertans, he does get paid a lot, but he had 14 points. He was 4 for 8 on 3-pointers, which is amazing. You need that, especially if Russ is having a shit game, which he usually might be having.
Randy's just knocking the shit. Boom
Bro.
on.
All right, hold on. What do you want me to do, bro?
That's perfect. It's
All
coming.
right.
It's coming through a lot. I love you, bro.
I mean, Westbrook only has 16 points, but it's okay when Bradley Beal's scoring 30 plus and he's leading in rebounds. Obviously, you want to see the bigger man get the rebound, but I think it's going to be a good series, and I think it's going to be like that throughout the whole playoffs. I think we're going to see more lower seeds beat these higher seeds because, I mean, I just think the NBA playoffs and the NBA in a whole is just different. So, I mean, don't be shocked if you see the Wizards come out and upset the Sixers in round one.
I will be shocked.
Yeah, I kind
unfortunately.
of agree with that because I thought Bradley Beal's injury was going to play more of a factor, but he looked pretty spry out
He
there.
looked really good.
So here's
Yeah,
my
so-
here's my like only thing is so I'm looking at the box score here. Obviously I just watched the highlights, so I missed some of the meat of this game, but I'm looking at Hachimura gives you 12. That's like a miracle for him, right? So that's like he really needs to come through for that. Alex Lynn 12. That's another good for him. That's a really good performance. Bradley Beal 33. Not much more you can ask for from him. Westbrook 16, 14, 7 of 17. It's typical Westbrook night. Even Bertans, who's struggled a lot lately, gives you 14. I don't know how much more can break right for them in a game, and so that's another thing that I would say is a little concerning. Is I'm not sure what else can come through other than maybe Bradley Beal getting you like 45 or Westbrook adding on 10 more.
If you've watched the NBA for a long time, if you're an NBA fan watching these Sixers playoff games, you're just preparing yourself that Embiid, Ben Simmons is going to have that shit show. Tobias. I just don't think Tobias Harris is going to get you that many points every single night. I mean, he's proved that he can't do that. If he does it, the Sixers are destined to go to the finals. If he can do that every single time they play.
Yeah.
But as an NBA fan, I am very prepared for Ben Simmons and Embiid just to have a shit show night, and I want to see who steps up. Is it Danny Green? Is it Tobias? Who else can do it? Is it Dwight Howard? Can Dwight Howard kind of come off the bench and be that guy?
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess you could say the only thing left to break right for the Wizards is a collapse on the part of the 76ers because, I mean, that's a really good point. You never know it's going to be an injury or if one night Ben Simmons is going to score 2 points and it's actually going to hurt them,
Yeah, and their biggest issue last year in the playoffs was their shooters, and they finally added shooters. So it's like there's no more excuses why they can't finish a game or why they can't win a playoff series. Like they have Danny Green, who, I mean, granted he hasn't been the Danny Green that he was at the Spurs, but he can still hit them.
He's still Danny Green.
He's still Danny Green. He can go 0 for 10, or he can go 4 for 8. I think was what he did today. I think, and then Curry as well. I mean, Curry will have big games, so they have no more excuses why they can't win a playoff series or run at least to the finals, or at least Eastern Conference Finals.
Agreed. Does anyone else have anything else stands out to them about this series, or we're ready to give our prediction for it?
So one more thing, I'm looking at the bench box score for Sixers, and gosh, bro, the bench didn't give them no points, and that's gonna be real.
Well, George Hill is pretty big. 11 off the bench. I mean, you take that.
I mean, that's it. But you got 7, 3, 0, 5. Thibault 14 minutes and he didn't score a point. I mean, I get his defense, but you're gonna need him down the stretch, especially if Simmons is just getting you 6 points. Simmons, I know he's a good rebounder, he's good defensively, but that's your top dog. You need him to score points. You need him to score at least 15 or more. 6 ain't gonna cut it. Like, I mean, they may be able to breeze by with that against the Wizards, but next round, if they play the Heat or the Bucks, I think it's either Heat or Bucks.
It'll be Knicks or Hawks.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get fucked if they play one of them and Simmons is just playing like shit. Offensively he played like shit. Defensively he played pretty decent.
Yeah,
I mean, considering that he's like 6'10", you think he would at least score more and take advantage of it, or get a layup or 2. Yeah, I just feel like he just doesn't use his body.
He's aggressive when he wants to be.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like the bench, they got what is it? I think I see like more or less 30 bench points here. But I like the guys I still have coming off that can create, because if Simmons is struggling and you don't need him out there for defense at the time, you got guys like Shake Milton and Maxi who can create, and then you got guys like George Hill who still provide that defense but can move off the ball a little better than Simmons could. I think that when it matters, the bench will come through. I don't take bench as into account in the playoffs, because at the end of the day, there's 7 guys who you really want to be playing. And if guys like Thibault and Milton want to come through, that's great. But I think they'll be fine if they don't, to be honest. All right, Randy. So what was your original thought? You said Wizards in 7, right?
Yeah, I do believe this series will go to 7. I'm not high on the Sixers until they can prove to me that they are that team that's going to dominate. If they struggle against the Wizards, I'm going to be scared for them. But I got Wizards in 7. I think it's going to go to 7. I think we're going to see a lot of games go to 7. So reckless takes. Let's go Wizards.
All right. Wavy, what do you see from this series?
I really see if Tobias Harris puts up 30 plus points a game, it's gonna be no problem. I'm not saying they're gonna sweep, but I got Philly for sure.
Maybe like a gentleman sweep 4-1 or something. All right. David, what do you think?
Before I saw the game, I thought there would have been Sixers in 5. I thought Washington would have taken at least 1. But seeing Bradley Beal, seeing Tobias Harris out there, obviously just a small sample size. I think still Philly, but I think it might go 6. Might strong 7. But I think 6 is probably like minimum what would happen.
Man, okay. I'm still gonna stick with gentleman sweep here. I'm gonna go 4-1 Philly. I think that Westbrook and Beal is enough to definitely steal a game. I think when it comes down to it, the 76ers know that we're all thinking what we're thinking and that we're ready for them to collapse. I think they can turn it on when they need to. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that 4-1. Let's just move down the Eastern bracket here. So this Hawks Knicks game. David, I was asleep.
What
for
a
this.
game!
So please give us a little rundown. Give us what you saw.
I saw very upset New York Knickerbocker fans, which is just a most amazing sight to ever behold.
Always the best.
I'm tired of big market fans. I don't like them. But
Naturally,
Trae Young
as a Spurs fan does.
Trae Young in that fourth quarter was just masterful. Like, I mean, you wouldn't think that this is his first game, man. He set up. I think he threw some like ridiculous corner pass to Bojanovic. I can't say his name right. Bojanovic in the corner, and then he made that tough floater at the end. Derrick Rose is doing pretty good. I haven't seen him much this year, but I mean, before this game started, I thought everybody was overlooking the Hawks, and then they basically just showed. I mean, Nate McMillan is the guy for this team, and hopefully they give him a contract whenever the playoffs are over. He made some really great adjustments. New York needs to stop playing Elfrid Payton. They just need to just DMP him for the rest of the series.
Well, you got the Keith Bogans treatment of starting and then never coming back, essentially playing 8 minutes.
Yes, exactly. Alec Burks came out of nowhere. I know he was on your fantasy team. Sorry,
didn't see any of this shit.
Yeah, exactly. He scored 27 today. I didn't see Julius. I think Randy probably has the stats on that.
6 of 23.
6 of 23. Yeah, and John Collins had a solid night, but it was a Trae Young show through and through, and him like talking crap to the crowd was dude. Like I'm excited to see what he's going to do the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah. Wavy, did you get a chance to watch this one?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch. No, I was in a meeting.
Okay, got you.
Meeting, right?
What coming into this? What were you expecting? You expecting this to be a New York show?
Knicks?
Yeah.
So I was sleeping on the Knicks. But I heard this is the first time they got into the playoffs since they had Melo, right?
It's been a minute. Yeah, I think like 2013 or 14.
They had the Jeremy Lin show.
The Jeremy Lin show.
Yeah, bro.
It's been a while.
Rest in peace, legend.
Yeah, I'm Trae Young. I've been keeping up with him since year one. I was taking Trae Young over Luka when I first saw him, but of course now that's a different story now.
Bro. Okay, so this is you want to talk about reckless takes? I get so much shit for this. So I am like I'm teetering. I'm at the brink of my road here because it's really hard. I still I think right now is like the last time I'll probably ever end up saying this. In the long game, I think Trey Young's gonna have a better career than Luca. I really do. I think the
I
game
see it. I see it because like Trey Young, he looks like Steph Curry out there.
he
Like,
does straight up with a little bit more of an instinct to attract fouls. And
mhm.
that's huge. And look, maybe the game takes a swerve that I'm not expecting, but he looks like he was designed in a lab to play today's game.
Yep.
Yeah,
Shoot-
watch it. Watch that
shoot.
fourth quarter, and you'll see like it slows down for him. Like he figures out
Mhm.
like how the refs are calling the game. Like
Yep.
he got like a 3-point foul called on him. Like he just tell like he just figured it out. Like that dude's smart and he's gonna figure it out. And like you said, he might have a better career than Luka, depending on how screwed up the Mavs are with their roster.
Exactly, bro. Like you got to bring in someone better than Porzingis. I'll tell you that.
I mean, somebody's gonna overpay for Tim Hardaway next year. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna leave for sure.
Randy, what do you think about this series? I don't think we've talked about this one really.
Nah, but coming into the playoffs and stuff, this is the one I'm more excited for. Like the only thing me and you have said about it was the playoffs are better when the Knicks are in it. I think this is probably going to be the best like competitive series besides the Heat and Bucks. Looking at the stats and stuff, I didn't get to watch this game because I don't even know what the hell I was doing. Probably playing Madden.
Building shoe racks.
Oh yeah, I was building my shoe racks. But looking at it, I get that y'all are saying it's the Trey Young show, but man, the rest of the team's stats besides Bogdanovich was absolutely crap. When Gallinari's getting paid the way he's getting paid, and he comes in and only gives you 7, that's a shit show for him. Capella's not getting to the boards. He was like that with the Rockets. That's why we traded his ass. Collins, I would want way more points from Collins. If Trey Young, like the Sixers, if Trey Young isn't on his shit, who's going to be the guy that's going to carry the Hawks? When you go over to the Knicks, Julius Randle had a off night, but then you go to the bench, Derrick Rose had 17, Burks had 27, which you can't count on every single game.
I think they had like 60-some points on the bench. I think.
Yeah, like overall team wise, the bench and starters is better than the Hawks. Hawks did it tonight because of Trey Young. Trey Young doesn't do it. I'm favoring the Knicks more than the Hawks right now. I like Trey Young. He's one of my favorite young guys. But man, I've been high on the Knicks since we started talking NBA awards and stuff. Julius Randle is a stud, and I like Derrick Rose. I talk about him all the fucking time. So
David,
I would like to see more from Toppin. I would like to see more points from him too. But
David, how did DeAndre Hunter look tonight defensively? He's coming off an injury, past month or so.
Didn't look as spry. He I think Alec Burks got past him a couple of times. Alex Burke got past a lot of people today, but that was just that was just him game. Yeah. But yeah, he didn't look too well. Like what Randy said, the bench wasn't exactly crazy. Bogdanovich had to make some crazy shots, but those are set up by Trey Young. That's why I don't think it's really leaning one way or another with this series, especially with the Knicks. The problem earlier in the regular season was they brought a lot of energy, especially to a lot of games especially with the bigger teams, they weren't playing as well, and everybody in the playoffs plays at a high energy level. So where are they going to get that extra gear in the playoffs now that everybody's on the same energy level? That's my question with the Knicks. Can they find that extra gear? And then Tom Thibodeau has always been there. I'm not surprised he turned this team around.
Yeah.
But can they find that next gear to beat the Hawks or to get further in this playoffs? This is my question for them.
Yeah. My last note on this is I'm really impressed with Nate McMillan's restraint here with Lou Williams, and that's a guy that he's really enticing in a lot of situations. Just someone come off the bench and take some shots, but man, I think he's proven in his Clipper days that he's just not a completely viable playoff defender, not at all, and not a completely viable offensive player either. But I mean, look, if he can get 13 minutes and go 6 to 9 from the field, you'll take that and you pull him right off, right? Come in, keep us alive, and then come right back, because you can't have him out there against apparently fucking Alec Burks and superstars like that. But
I don't know, man. I would love, sorry to interrupt you, but I would love to see Lou Will get more minutes. Like from a shooter's perspective, he might not be good defensively, but if Trey Young's struggling, let's get Lou Will in, because I mean the bench is just If Gallinari can't score and you're paying him this much, bro, trade his ass. He was
Dude,
doing good with
I
the
wouldn't have
Thunder.
known he was. I wouldn't known he was on the court outside of his damn shitty ass haircut he had, the taxi
Three
driver
for
haircut he had going on.
3 for 11 on field goals, 1 for 7 on 3 points, and only 7 points. Like you
Yeah.
play 24 minutes and you're getting paid that, like, bro, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that, man. And then, like, I would, for me, it's Lou Will's gotta play more because if Gallinari's not doing it, and I'm probably gonna butcher his last name, Herder or whatever the hell you
Yeah.
say.
Kevin
They're
Herter.
getting
Jack
24,
Whiter.
they're getting 27 and 24 minutes, and they're only scoring 7 and 8 points. And a guy that's playing half that is scoring more. Like, there's a problem there. Let's get Lou Will minutes. You want to win this game? You want to win the series? Let's get Lou Will some more minutes.
Disagreed. All right, Randy. Right now it's 1-0 Hawks. How's it going? How's it going down?
This is out of all the series, this is one of the toughest ones for me. I think this is another series that goes 7. I would love for it to go 7, actually. But I'm actually going to go Knicks. I would love to see Trae Young get it, but I would love to see D Rose and Julius Randle get it way more. So I'm going to go Knicks in 7.
All right. Wavy, what do you see?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Randy. I think it's gonna go 7 for sure. I feel like the Hawks' other pieces don't play like as they should. Trae Young can't do it by himself. I feel like he's still young, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I don't think he's gonna have that push to just that Mamba mentality to just do it all on his own. And I don't think he has the pieces to even do it.
Yeah.
But I'll
So-
take Knicks in 7 for sure.
Knicks and 7. Okay. David, what do you see?
I think this is a series where I think they can have lapses because as far as like guard play, like Alec Burks has to do this in like 7 games. I don't think he can do 27 points. Do I think he could have one of those playoff series where he just goes nuts? Yeah, it's possible. But outside of him and then Derrick Rose, I mean, Trae Young toasted Derrick Rose on a couple of plays. I still think that the Knicks have the home court advantage, and having 15,000 New Yorkers, it's like 30,000 in
Yeah.
comparison to most arenas. So I think the Knicks get it in 7. I think it's going to be a great series, like Randy says. I hope it goes 7. It's going to be the one I probably watch the most outside of the Phoenix Lakers series.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
I'm pretty surprised
that's
that
me.
we're gonna have a 4-way agreement here. I think that's probably the only one we're gonna have. I'm gonna take Knicks. I'm gonna take Knicks in 7 too. I love Trae Young. Do I want Trae to win? Yes, absolutely. But I think at the end of the day, like you said, Madison Square Garden in the playoffs, doesn't matter how many people are in there. It's a home court advantage. And yeah, I think that Trae looked really good tonight, obviously, but I don't think he can do it 7 games. And I think later in the series, when the calls get a little tougher to get, and a couple threes don't fall, that he's gonna have a harder time when it comes down to it than Julius Randle. Although game 1 didn't show it. So I will agree and take Knicks in 7. Man, let's talk about this Heat and Bucks series. So to me, obviously the best game so far. Having missed that next game, Randy, I know you're a huge Heat rider going in. So are you sad a little bit here? Or are you sticking with
Nah, hell nah. I mean, this is another game I think is going to 7. Man, the Bucks good. Giannis, stop fucking shooting 3-pointers. If you listen to this, stop fucking shooting 3-pointers. You can't fucking shoot the ball.
What do you mean if he's
I
listening?
hate Giannis, bro.
Obviously he's listening, bro.
I cannot fuck with Giannis, bro. I don't.
So his personality or the way he plays?
It's the way he plays, bro. Like it's the only reason why Giannis is good is because he is 7 feet tall. Like
That's facts.
he has he ain't got no handle. He has a little post, but to me, all I see is him
Just a
running
tall
up and
dude
down,
running through people.
jumping high. I respect the stats. I respect the MVP, but it's how I used to feel about James Harden before he got to the Nets. But that's another story.
Yikes. It's a reckless take for Randy. So Randy, what are you looking for here going forward then? What do the Heat need to do to pick up that last little boost and get them past him.
First off, Jimmy Butler doesn't need to be shitting bricks. That's the one thing. The fact that Jimmy Butler was off and they were still that close,
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
that's a very good point.
Odolipo just got
Odolipo.
for,
Odolipo.
Oleo Depot.
he just got cleared for
The Home Depot.
contacts, so he should be coming back soon. Duncan Robinson killed it, especially with the threes. Iguodala, he's old. Dragic coming off the bench did good. Tyler Hero was I would like to see more from a bio. 9 points is just not enough. And if you're starting Chris Nunn, you definitely need more points. But and then looking at the Bucks, man, at the first half, the Heat could not guard Giannis to save their fucking life. Second half, they changed it. I don't know why they had Ariza on Giannis. That is stupid. But Drew Holiday had a great game. Middleton had a good game.
Middleton.
I'm so excited. I mean, I'm excited for this series, man. Besides the Knicks, this is another series I'm just like shit, man. But looking at the Bucks too, man, their bench is just so many bad benches, just fucking playing so bad. Like PJ Tucker, 18 minutes, 0 points. Portis,
Yeah,
17 minutes.
he's not there to score though.
Yeah,
You're fine if PJ doesn't give you a point.
Yeah, but he was not even playing that good of a defense. And then
But he's also
Forbes-
playing power forward, so I mean, you expect
Yeah.
him to grab something,
Yeah. And then you have Forbes, who I liked him with the Spurs, but he went 0-3 for threes. Like, you can't have that.
Yeah.
I would like to see Giannis finally get over the hump. I just don't think it happens this year.
David, what do you see, man?
Building on what Randy said, the problem with Milwaukee, I thought last year was, maybe they need a point guard, so they went out and got a point guard, and then they got worse. I think it's mostly just Coach Bud just finicking with the team. But building on what he said, I mean, Giannis needs to stop scoring from the 3-point lane. It's not going to happen. His free throws once again came in and bit him in the ass. He went 6 for 13. Jimmy Butler, I mean, like what once again, basically was repeating what Randy said. Jimmy Butler went 4 for 22, didn't do shit. He got 10 rebounds, and he also turned the ball 6 times. But with all that said, they only lost by 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Bam Adebayo didn't have any blocks whatsoever. He shot 15 times, I think, which is like 4 above his average. I think that he can surprise many people. They're not the same team they were last year. They're barely the shell of themselves, but even then, I still think that's enough to beat the Bucks. I don't know what the Bucks need at this point. They're a team I just look at like you have the right players, the right pieces, but you just seem to just shit the bed for some reason.
Yeah.
So that's just my take on that.
All right, Wavy. So you are a Giannis hater. Are you in belief that he can still win this series or no?
Nah.
Nah.
I really like the Heat though. Like last year, like them making the finals, like that was such a big thing. And I still feel like they're still hungry to go back because I feel I personally thought they could have upset the Lakers to me. But
yeah,
but
Dragic didn't go down, they would have been a more competitive series.
Yeah, there were a couple injuries that did not go their way. But
And Bam
agree.
Adebayo too, forgot.
Yeah.
yeah, and like Jimmy played his heart out, bro. Like, bro.
Always.
That was that watching that made me a big fan of Jimmy Butler. Like he was cool on the Bulls, but like that made me a fan of him. But I feel like because his role players they didn't really show up for the first game. But I feel like if Jimmy's on one, Tyler's on one, Dragic's on one, everybody's on the same page, then I feel like Giannis still isn't enough to try and knock him out.
Yeah,
I don't
so
think he'll get past him this year at all.
I think my biggest thing is what I'm concerned about is Middleton came through big in the end of this one. He was exactly what they needed. He provided that scoring punch down the stretch when Giannis has proven that he can't in these big games going back to the past. I don't know if Middleton's going to do this every game. And I don't like giving the ball to Giannis in the last 3 minutes, I'll be honest. And as great as Giannis is, that's just not who he is. So I'm worried about Middleton. I still think that this starting lineup is just better than the Heat's. I really like the upgraded point guard. I like getting Holiday over Bledsoe. I think DiVincenzo is going to have at least a little less terrible of a night. Man, there was some.
Honestly, he's a guy that I thought the Spurs should have taken instead of Lonnie Walker, and I wanted him really just because he beat my
He
Wolverines.
was cold.
He beat the shit out of them. So I was like, I want him on my team. And then they went for Lonnie Walker, and I still think they should have gone after DiVincenzo.
There were some plays, man, that they ran for DiVincenzo down the stretch, and I'm like, what are you doing? Then there was coming out of a timeout. They drew up like a down pin screen to get DiVincenzo free at the free throw line, and he just clanks it off the front of the rim. And I'm like, man, of the like 4 other dudes that should be running this play for, I don't know about that. Brooke Lopez, I was really concerned with him coming in. He definitely hasn't looked like the Brooke Lopez of last year. He still looks like an efficient player, but it's amazing that he can go out there and play 36 minutes.
Yeah, he hit a couple awkward look shots.
And he got into foul trouble pretty early on, I think.
Yeah.
He had 5 fouls last year.
So look, I'll go first on this one. I think that this is definitely an unpopular opinion. I think this is gonna be a great series. I think that every individual game is gonna be great. I think Milwaukee's gonna win 4-1. I see this is one where I see all these games are just gonna break this way, and it's gonna be close. And every game you're gonna say the Heat could have won that if this happened. I just think that they're all gonna break Milwaukee's way for the most part. So I'll take 4-1 Milwaukee. Randy, all right, let's hear it. You shaking your head.
4-1, dog. You're
4-1.
That's what I'm saying.
You're disrespecting, bro. Oh my god, that
That's
was
not
worse.
It's
than the
not.
D-Rose
Is it
thing.
really disrespect? I mean, Milwaukee's been supposed to. They're supposed to be doing this every year.
Supposed to.
Yeah.
Say it again. Supposed to.
Yeah,
How-
so all I'm saying is what they're supposed to be doing.
How much better do you think their starting lineup is, like, for real, than the Heat?
I really do think it's better. Look, I mean, you got.
But how much? By how much? Like a lot better, a little better, medium better?
I love that scale. I'm gonna go medium better. I think it's medium better.
Okay.
It's a,
And
medium,
they,
it's a medium well, medium rare.
and they,
Yeah.
With a pink
they,
center.
they only won by 2.
Yeah.
Because Giannis can't shoot the fucking
Yeah.
ball, and he can't
I-
make a damn free throw to save his damn life.
I don't think there's gonna be any games in this series where Milwaukee runs away with it. I think that every game is just gonna break 3 points Milwaukee's
Yeah.
way.
It's not 4-1. It's gonna. You know what? I'm changing that the 7 shit. Heat and 6.
Heat. All right, Heat and 6. Okay.
The same safe takes. This is reckless takes.
What do you think, really quick? What do you think is the one thing that you have to point out that's gonna lift them to Heat and 6?
Jimmy Butler killing the damn shit.
Just having a
like
better
he
game.
did. He went 4 for 22 and they lost by 2. Imagine if he's shooting like he usually shoots. Imagine if Abayo gets you 12 points. And Duncan Robinson, he's always not always good, but he can fucking shoot the ball. And Dragic coming off the bench can shoot the ball. I think overall the Heat are better than the Bucks.
Okay.
But yeah, Heat and 6.
Heat and 6. All right, David.
Coach Spo isn't going to let them get blown out. I think he's going to make them focused. I mean, like Randy said, Jimmy Butler, he's going to be the difference maker. It depends on what they do with Giannis. I mean, a little towards the end, they started trying to let him create on his own, and it just didn't really work out. I mean, Milton had hit a tough jumper just to escape that game. I think you can go 7. It honestly can go either way. I mean, the Bucks have the home court advantage, but I mean, it's not like Milwaukee is a tough place to play nowadays. Not like it used to in the past. I think the Heat can win it in 7. There's nothing yesterday that Bucks showed me that they would run away with this at all, at least in my eyes.
All right, Wavy, what do you see?
I'm gonna take the Heat. Definitely. I just feel like if Jimmy's doing what he's supposed to do, and his role players are doing what they're supposed to do, I think that the Bucks and Giannis I think they'll come up short. I'm gonna take Heat in 6. But I feel like Chris Middleton, if he can't, I don't think he's nice. Don't get me wrong. That first when he got the All-Star, he made the All-Star last year, right?
Yeah.
For the first time. I feel like people woke up about him, and I feel like playoffs, like this first game, he did good, but I don't think he'll be consistent enough to get them 3 more dubs.
Yeah, I'm struggling with Heat and 6, man, because if we're gonna say Heat and 6, it's saying that the Heat are gonna win 5 out of 6 going forward. And man, I don't know if this team has it in them to win 5 out of 6 against this team. And the most compelling argument, obviously, for y'all is that Jimmy Butler win 4 of 22. Obviously, like that's huge to win by 2. And generally, 10 of 27 for both Giannis and Middleton. That's what you're going to see in the playoffs, because Giannis, he has a great field goal percentage in the regular season, but he's proven that he's not going to have that same one in the playoffs. Middleton, he's always going to take a bunch of shots. So I do agree that there is more ceiling to this Heat team than what you saw from this Bucks team today. I really think that it's just going to break a few points each game Milwaukee's way, but we'll see. All right. What's next here? Brooklyn and Boston.
So we can talk about this series.
It's the one I've been waiting for right here.
Oh, really? All right. Well,
yeah, I'm a huge KD fan.
Okay, lead us off.
KD fan.
What did you see from him in this game?
Man, I saw. My biggest thing was Kyrie. I love the way Kyrie was playing, man. Like, honestly, if all
so hear me out real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. So, okay, Kyrie,
you good.
Go the day before the playoffs. He comes out and he says, day before the play-in, I believe, he says, basketball isn't the biggest thing right now, and we're not going to get into the politics of it because there are reasons that he is the way he is, and I get it. Is this just him setting himself up, kind of like not lowering expectations to help himself, but did he say that just to prove to people that he can still ball out even if basketball isn't his main priority? Was he just saying that to set us up for the huge reveal that, oh my God, Kyrie is still one of the best players in the world?
I wasn't even thinking about that, but honestly, like, as you say it, I'm like, bro, like, I definitely could see that. Cause like,
yeah,
he's definitely the type of dude to be like, bro, I'm not even worried about this. Blah, blah, blah,
exactly.
And then he drops fucking 30 points. Like,
yeah, I feel like he knew what he was. You don't just say that the day before the playoffs with no motive, right? Like
no
that's
motive at all.
Everyone was super concerned, like, oh, that's what you want to hear from your like star player, like the day before the playoffs, like basketball's whatever. But yeah, man, he balled out.
He did. I love the way he played, and I love all three of them played. I feel like if they play like that every game, no one's gonna beat him. Big KD fan. I ride wherever KD goes, so I'm a Knicks fan right now. I mean Nets fan. My bad. But yeah, they play like that. No, they play like that every game. Their role players do what they do, bare minimum, and no one's touching them. In my opinion.
David, did you catch this one?
Caught like towards the end, and then I looked at the stats. They're like the rare team in the playoffs that they don't really need too much from everybody outside. Although Blake Griffin only scoring like 1 point, I think. For 20 minutes to play.
The bed.
Bro, yeah.
Bro. 3 rebounds.
He shit on top of the shit. And dude, he got out muscled, but what's his name? Was it Williams? Like, he was kicking his ass all over the court.
Williams is a dog sleeper, bro. He's a sleeper.
Like, it sucked that he made a lot of those plays like when the game was kind of decided, but I mean, Williams was beating the shit out of Blake Griffin on the court, and Griffin didn't do anything. But the Nets are the type of team that they don't really need too much. I mean, at least for Boston, I think they don't need too much from everybody outside of the main three. Kyrie was brilliant, even though he cares more about the flat earth than basketball. James Harden was a little inefficient. He was like 2 for 8. And then KD was like 1 for 8 from the 3-point land. But they won as expected. I think this is not much of a series to me, at least, unless Jason Tatum goes, ape shit again. But I think this is a pretty easily decided series to me.
Yeah, that third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen a lot in this series is like maybe through 1 and 2, we have a closer game. But when it comes down to it, when these 3 guys come out of the halftime and they're like, all right, let's relax a little bit. Let's boost it up. And yeah, like I don't see God, I don't see anyone being able to hold up with that. But we'll get to that as we go down later. But man, I'm looking at the starting lineup here, and when you get seven of I don't know what that is, 30 something from the starting lineup, which is generally an amazing 3-point lineup. I think there's a lot more ceiling than 104 points against the Celtics here. So the fact that they won this game in pretty easy fashion and really didn't play that well aside from Kyrie should be concerning to everyone else. Randy, what do you see?
I'm on the opposite of y'all.
Shocked. I'm shocked.
No. Like, I'm not saying that the Celtics are going to come out here and win. I watched this game and my mind changed a little bit on the Nets. Like, going forward, like, I'm huge on Harden. Harden is my favorite player all time. I got a beard because of Harden. That's my dude. But I'm not a Nets fan. I'm still a Rockets fan. But I'm rocking with Harden. And if you are a Nets fan, be prepared for Harden to shit the fucking bed. Be prepared.
You don't think he's gonna step up with the team he has right now?
Hell no.
You don't think so?
Okay,
bro.
Let me disagree.
No. All right. That came out wrong. Like, I know he's gonna put up points and shit, but as a Rockets fan, a diehard Rockets fan, playoff Harden it's disgusting, man. He is not clutch. Like, I mean, he might change. I hope it changes. Fuck, I hope
believe
it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's
But I think
change.
the problems with the previous teams is that he needed to do everything. He doesn't really need to do.
Exactly.
He doesn't need to be the clutch guy anymore because
Exactly.
he has
You look at
Kyrie and he has KD.
Look at the Chris Paul team.
And he has KD. I mean, he has the Blake Griffin scoring 1 point. So,
you look at the Chris Paul Rockets team, and when Harden breaks down offensively, which you're right is bound to happen at some point. He gets frustrated with a few non-calls and stuff like that. It's bound to happen at some point. But then next to him, you have Chris Paul, what Harden wants to do is when he breaks down, he wants to find a way to facilitate. But then your other guy on the court is Chris Paul, who also just wants to facilitate. So I think that he can step into this role, and when he starts to struggle offensively, oh, look, to my left, there's Kyrie. To my right, there's Kevin Durant. Left corner, there's Joe Harris, the best
especially with Kyrie deciding to be a 2 guard instead of being a 1.
Exactly.
That was a very good adjustment for Kyrie.
I'm impressed with Harden's ability to move into this point guard role. I mean, we all knew coming in. That's what he
I'm
was.
not impressed. He's been a point guard since he was on the Rockets.
He was pretty much our point guard.
He's your point guard, but he's still shooting 30 times a game. And it's clear this guy's totally fine shooting 10 times a game now. Yeah. That's what impresses me. So sorry, Randy. Go ahead and continue.
I hope, all right, as a Harden fan, I hope he wins a ring. I promise you, I will cry. I will fucking cry if he gets a ring.
That's how much tattooed on you.
Maybe I might.
You're gonna cry this year, I promise.
Bro, I'm a diehard Harden fan. I will cry my eyes out. But
would you say you're a die Harden fan?
Yeah, I'm a die Harden fan, baby. But I mean, the Nets are gonna be dominant. But last night kind of showed me like, all right, they're fucking human. They're not that crazy superhuman team. They're human. The Celtics, I bet they came in here thinking, bro, to blow the shit out of these Celtics. And the Celtics kind of punch them in the mouth. They couldn't finish it because obviously Jason Tatum's not going to be able to do it by his fucking self. Kemba Walker, let's see what Kemba's stats is. 5 for 16. That's just not good enough.
Not what I was expecting.
Like,
I was really thinking it was going to come through.
He played really solid against the Wizards.
He did.
Why can't you come and do this shit consistently? I do think the Nets are going to sweep them. I'll go ahead and get my prediction, Nets in 4. But I'm really going to be looking at these games with the Nets and seeing, like, can Blake Griffin get it going? Is Kyrie going to one day just out of this series or the whole playoffs going to be like, you know what? I ain't playing fucking basketball this year. Or the rest of the year, I'm going to some charity shit or religion shit. I'm going to go fast for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I don't disagree with that, to be honest.
Yeah,
that is some Kyrie shit that he would do.
And then KD took that nasty fall. He got up like he didn't get hurt.
I can't believe he didn't break his arm.
But he's KD.
Yeah, exactly.
KD, he could get hurt again.
I was like, what the fuck? But the next team looked good, but they started off real slow. I hope they don't do that the rest of the series.
They started off slow.
So if they're gonna win, they play the Bucks Heat, right?
Yes, sorry. Yeah.
So let's say Bucks just blow it, like they blow the Heat, like you're saying, 4-1. Giannis is on fire. Middleton's on fire. Drew Holiday's on fire. You don't think they can match up with the Nets like that?
No, they can. I mean, we saw those games. I mean, The regular season games, those were great. No, you don't think so?
He's a Nets fan. He's a KD fan.
Yeah, I guess.
No,
Yeah,
bro.
what
I
are we
just,
thinking?
bro, like,
Oh, he hates Giannis
who,
too.
who is
Yeah,
Giannis
that's
could
wait,
guard
wait,
KD?
hold on.
Giannis could guard KD.
A Nets and Bucks matchup for you, bro, is like you hate Giannis, you love KD. Where we think you're going?
Giannis could guard KD.
No, but I don't think that would be the matchup they'd pick. I mean, they'd probably rather have PJ Tucker on, to be honest, and then just help off Tucker.
Kyrie
no.
could average 30 that series.
You're right. Everyone that's averaged 30 that series. Look, when it comes to this Boston series, it's supremely concerning that you have what is historically one of the worst defenses ever. They middled off towards the end of the year. They picked it up a little bit, but you have that defense in the playoffs. You can only put up 93 points. That is extremely concerning. And I think anyone who's doubting a sweep, you're putting your money in the wrong place. So I'm also going to go Nets sweep. I don't think it's competitive at any point. Wavy, are we going to go with the 4-peat sweep here?
I'm gonna go with the 4-0 for sure.
Okay.
I just don't. Even if one of them are off, it
Doesn't matter.
You still can't outscore them. Like that's what it comes down to. I feel like that's what like they tried to figure out like towards the end. Like no one can really outscore us. So
Yeah, I think people are really going to overlook this 104-point performance, and they're going to overthink it, and they're going to say 104 points from this offense. That's all you could do. Like you're lucky to squeak by. I think if they needed to, they could have put up 134. They just didn't need to.
I think they need to next game just to shut us up. Shut
That
me
would
up.
be great. I would love
shut
that.
Shut me the fuck up. So the next time we come back on here and talk, shut me the fuck up. Just let
Yeah.
me know.
Someone's got to do it. I'm just kidding. David, sweep.
The series is over.
Yeah.
That's a 4.
Easy conversation. All right, hey, let's take a really quick break. Then we'll come back and do the West, right?
All right.
All right, we are back, guys. So we're gonna go to the Western Conference now. We're just gonna do the same thing, go top to bottom of the bracket. We'll start here with 1-8 Grizzlies Jazz. We are recording this at 10 p.m. on Sunday. So the Grizzlies are currently at 53-50 in the first game in the third quarter. Tonight
54-50.
Yes, sir. Tonight is a little bit of a outlier, possibly. I'm not sure on the update of Donovan Mitchell going forward, but he is missing tonight. So take that score with a little grain of salt. Randy, you are a huge Jazz disbeliever. So let's hear your take on this series.
I'm a huge Ja Morant
Uh-huh.
dick sucker. I'm a dick sucker for Ja
Same.
Morant. A homo. But yeah, looking at it, I'm not watching the game. Obviously, we're doing this fucking podcast. But 54-50, no Donovan Mitchell. Apparently, he wanted to go. He was ready to go. They just said, fuck no. Looking at the stats, Jaren Jackson, 2 points, shit. Kyle Anderson, having 12 points is pretty nice. Brooks, who is probably the second best player on this team besides Ja. And Valanciunas is up there, but man, Brooks can play fucking defense. The defense he played on Steph
Insane.
was fucking insane. And then Ja has 10 points, which is low for him. Valanciunas 8 points with 8 rebounds, which is low. Then going over to the Jazz, me and you talked about it earlier. You said that Mike Conley's probably, he's going to be the guy, but right now he's just not the guy. 1 for 6 from 3, 4 for 12, which is not bad. He is leading with 16 points, but this is the rest of the team. 3 for O'Neal, 4 for Bogdanovich, 5 for Gobert, who he has 14 rebounds.
14 boards.
But you need more than 5 points. Ingles 9 points. Nang, whatever the hell his name is, 4, and then Clarkson with 9. If Donovan Mitchell is not 100%, I believe that we're going to see an upset. The Jazz, they want to be that team. They want to be the number 1. But in recent history, I just think this Jazz team is probably the worst number 1 seed we've had in a long time. Just by youngness of the team, unexperienced. Mike Conley is very inconsistent. Donovan Mitchell, very inconsistent. Rudy Gobert has proven in the playoffs he's just not that guy. He's not in the Embiid level. Of course, he's defensive player fucking 20 times in a row. But you got to do that shit in the playoffs because if you don't, you're going to get your ass whooped. So, I really like the Grizzlies. If Ja Morant can just light it up and Brooks, who just scored another bucket, can light it up and Valanciunas can just get rebound after rebound, which he usually does, I think it's going to be a very one-sided series. But if we can see Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert play consistent, it could be a great series. But I'll get my prediction later, and y'all gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But
Yeah, I know. I already know. I heard you say one-sided series, and I realized you were talking about the Grizzlies. Um, yeah. So my only pushback, I don't have a ton of statistical argument in this. So my only pushback is that about this Jazz team being the worst one seed. It's I can see where you're coming from because you don't have one of those superstars, and I'm not ready to call Mitchell a superstar at the end of the day. But this team had the third best point differential, end of season point differential, other than I believe the 72, the 70, or no, you know what? The 72 Bulls team were 4. The Warriors 73 win team was 1, and then last year's Mavericks team, strangely enough, was 2. And it was like this crazy thing with like shooting luck. Um, I just think that when you have a point differential that's third of all time, I think that that's pretty undeniable. And they beat the teams they were supposed to beat, and they beat them by a lot. Randy, how are you liking the Jazz in this series? I'm sorry, David. My bad. I was looking at David. He was looking back at me. I was like, "Come on."
We're feeling that love, baby.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks. I mean, going back to the playing against the Spurs. I mean, he impressed me with him shutting down DeMar, but I thought that was more the Spurs' game plan was kind of sloppy against Memphis. And then when he locked down Steph towards the end of that fourth quarter, it was just. I think he might have a Jamal Murray type of breakout this year. I mean, the what he did against Golden State was just brilliant. He's having another brilliant day. I'm not watching it, but going off the stats, he looks like he's finally breaking out. I mean, John Morant's found his number 2, and he's a hell of a defender. I think that Donovan Mitchell not playing is going to be a big one. The problem is with both these teams is that Memphis is not very good at holding leads. They've blown a lot of leads this year. Even the play-ins, they had back-to-back double-digit leads, and they blew them both. Utah is also very bad at playing from behind. In the games they lost, that when they got behind, they couldn't really come back into it. They're a very front heavy team when it comes to leads. So it kind of can Memphis build a lead and hold off Utah, and can Utah come back if they get into a hole? Valanciunas is going to be a big one. He bullied his way against Pirtle, and he bullied his way against whatever the Warriors call centers nowadays in the play-in. Can he bully Gobert throughout this whole series? And that would be for me. I think that'd be an X factor. If Valanciunas can control the paint, I think Memphis is going to surprise some people.
All right, Wadey, what are your opinions here on the Jazz?
I really don't. I haven't really kept up with the Jazz, but
not many people have.
Looking at the
that seems to be the consensus.
Just looking at the box score right now, the score updated. Oh damn.
Yeah, in ESPN you got to refresh manually.
He's like, oh, these are the 2017 stats.
58-55,
bro. I'm like, hold on.
Did the Spurs against Memphis? Did they also have a high point differential that year they lost against Memphis?
You mean you talking about like 2013?
The Richard Jefferson Spurs.
I have no idea, dude.
Because I think that they were also they beat teams down in the regular season. And then when they went against Memphis, they couldn't figure it out. Which I think is the same thing Utah's gonna run into this season. This series.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously reliant on is Mitchell gonna lose? Is Mitchell gonna miss more time? And when he comes back, I mean, if he's in, is it gonna be 100%? I believe it. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a high ankle sprain, man. And as we can see with LeBron, that's not too easy to come back from, because when someone like Superman LeBron is struggling with a high ankle sprain, you know it's legit.
Has been Superman for a long time.
You say he hasn't been?
He didn't even win that title when he was Superman, but I respect him, bro. I respect LeBron.
Man, I'm still struggling. This take is good. This take is going to be all dependent on what happens with Mitchell, obviously. But I just see, even if the Grizzlies take this game, I haven't seen it yet to where I'm like, can I take Morant like in the playoffs? And he's been amazing the last few games. There were some times in the regular season when he breaks down and his 3-point shooting doesn't come through, and when the shooting's not there, and you have someone like Gobert protecting the paint, like I can't take them. I'm gonna go Jazz. I think it's Jazz in 6. It's gonna look a lot like those Spurs series, man, where early in the 2000s you hated seeing the Grizzlies as a Spurs fan because it doesn't matter if they were 6, 7, 8, didn't matter. At the end of the day,
Oh, they fought
they're
and clawed their
dogs.
way. Like we know that more than anything.
Yeah,
Like they just fought and scratched for every single thing. Even when we swept them for that finals year, they were still scrapping.
Mhm.
They could have won a couple of those games.
yeah, and this team's a little different. It's a new age. It's but I was listening to an interview with Tony Allen, and he was talking about how he sees a lot of that team in this team, and they're different. They take threes. They're all this and that, but they still have the grit and grind of the early Grizzlies. So that's my prediction. I'm gonna go Utah in 6, 4-2 Utah. Randy, let's just get this out of the way.
Bro, this is not a reckless take, bro. I just want to let you know. All this shit I'm saying, I think is gonna happen. Come on, get ready to say, "Oh, you fucking idiot." I got Grizzlies in 5.
All right.
And
Well, listen.
It's just off the inconsistency from the Jazz's starter. I mean, if Dylan Brooks is playing that hot ass defense, he's gonna lock Mitchell down, bro. If he can lock down Steph, he's locking down Mitchell. If Mike Conley's inconsistent like he's doing tonight, no way, bro. No way the Jazz fucking mollywop the Grizzlies. In the last podcast, I said, the Grizzlies are that sleeper team that's gonna come and fucking bite some people in the ass. So Grizzlies in 5.
Wow. Okay, so not only this would be the second 8-1 upset in the 7-game series era, and the only other one was in 7 games. So I'll give you this: if this does happen, and I don't think it's going to, if this does happen, you will look like a genius. I'll give you that. It's a swing for the fences, and you're probably gonna strike out. But hey, maybe you'll get that shot to dead center, 450 feet. We'll see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, David, what do you think?
Going off today's game, I like with Mitchell leaving that kind of opens the door for Memphis to take game 1. Like Randy said, I haven't been impressed from what I've seen with Utah, and the very little I've seen in Utah, they're just not a. I mean, Memphis's bench is what gets them in trouble. I mean, they barely have anybody out the bench unless Grayson Allen starts tripping everybody. At the end of the day, my heart's with the Grizzlies. I love what I saw from against the Spurs. I love what I saw against the Warriors. I'm falling in love with Dylan Brooks and his Prince and the Revolution haircut of his. It depends on Donovan Mitchell, and even if Donovan Mitchell comes back, he's not going to be 100%, and even then, it's going to be less with Dylan Brooks on his ass the entire game. I'm going to give a little bit more game to Memphis, but I think Memphis in 6. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is going to come back 100%. I think Gobert is just going to go flat in the front like he usually does in the playoffs. And I mean, the bench is the only key factor. If Utah's bench, if Jordan Clarkson can go crazy like he's been doing this year, that can probably give him an advantage. But no Donovan Mitchell, not 100% Donovan Mitchell. I think it's going to put Utah away in the first round.
All right. Waiting. Come on, man. Give me some help here. Please. Please. He's not going to do it.
I'm sorry, man. But yeah, I'm going to have to – I got Grizzlies in 6 as well. Like, I feel like what better team than John Morant to, showcase his first playoff ability. You know what I'm saying? Because you see clips all year, John Morant this, John Morant that. He bodying people, crazy plays all year. I feel like playoffs, he'll show that he's a real player, not just some IG Showtime all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to be mad if this happens. I'm going to be a little upset Randy's reckless take was right, of course. But I'm not going to be mad. I like this team. I'm having a hard time picking them. And obviously, look, if Mitchell does miss more time, or I keep saying this, I know I'm like a broken record, but this prediction is based off of Mitchell coming back and being able to give some solid minutes just to reconcile in case I lose this. I don't want to have this clip pulled back up by Randy. If Mitchell misses extended time, I can see the Memphis in 6. I think in 5 is a little on the edge, but I can see the 6 because let's be honest, this Jazz team already lacking superstar power. You take away their one all-star contender, and look, Ingles can't take 30 shots a game. You don't know where you're going to get the buckets from. And Jordan Clarkson is a lot like Lou Williams in my eyes. I know you have different feelings on him, but where he's just not a viable playoff player. And he's a great guy to have in the regular season. He's probably going to win 6th man of the year. But when it comes down to it, and Yeah, you have to get buckets and you have to defend. I'm not loving Jordan Clarkson starting at the 1 or 2. I'll stick with it. I'll stick with Utah in 6, but I definitely do see where you guys are coming from here.
Dylan Brooks is going off right now, bro.
I do.
Yeah,
and-
they're up.
Yeah, I
At
keep
the
wa- I
update,
keep
they're up
looking at it,
70
he
to
just keeps
59.
scoring.
yeah. All right, let's go down in the bracket and let's do the who the winner of this series will play the winner of the Clippers and Mavericks. This is another one that I think this might be the hardest one to predict for me.
I think it might be easy for me.
Lead us off, sir. Lead us off. Lead us
Same.
off.
For real.
This is the same team, and this pretty much is the exact same team the Clippers faced last playoffs, and they were having so many issues with them.
Without
And it seems like-
Porzingis, so
Without, oh yeah, he was going to have Porzingis, yeah, and even then he doesn't really change much. But like, it's mostly because maybe I'm still bitter about Kawhi leaving. Maybe I'm bitter about.
We're never gonna get over that.
Was this the Morris brother that shit on the Spurs deal too, or is this
Yes,
the other brother?
It is.
Okay, him
Yeah.
too. And then playoff Paul George, who never shows up in any playoff games. It's just-
Let me just interrupt real quick. Playoff P. No, I'm just kidding. He looked really
Playoff
good
P.
in the second
He
half.
looked good. I was
He
about to say
looked
that. He
really
looked
good in
really
the second half. I'll go with you on this. We're half and half because we don't know which one we're going to get rest of the series. We're going to get first half ball, second half ball. We can't just assume it's the latter because it's what happened last. But he looked excellent in the second half. Sorry, continue.
But I will admit the Mavericks did make a lot of tough shots in the second half for them to win. But I mean, this playoff series was like 9 months ago. The last time they played each other. I mean, it's still very familiar. I just want the Clippers to lose. That's just personal preference. But I mean, and
we're
also,
never going to get over Kawhi, man. We're just not.
No, never. I was angry when he dunked on poor Maxi Cleaver. He took his soul and his mortgage. He took everything from him in that dunk. But I mean, Luka was brilliant. I mean, he continues to be brilliant. Porzingis continues to be some guy they pay a lot of money. Tim Hardaway Jr. still giving stock into his future. I mean, he's going to get paid 20+ next year.
He sure is.
But it just depends. Are the Clippers going to decide to show up finally? Are they going to keep saying like, "Oh, we're this great defensive team"? So I mean, it all depends on if the Clippers want to decide to show up and beat the Mavericks. I think Luka just needs to do it all himself to beat the Clippers, in my eyes. But I mean, it all depends. I mean, if Luka starts having a bad game, I think the Mavericks are in trouble. But I honestly think that Clippers are just doing the exact same thing they did last year, and Luka is just still destroying them. So, to me, if they still continue on this path, I think Mavericks have this series.
All right, Wavy, let's hear it, man. What are your thoughts on the Clippers?
The Clippers. I feel like Kawhi Leonard, if he played, I mean, he went 26, 10, 5, 4 steals. I mean, that's pretty like
He's a hooper. Man.
average Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you can get that on any given night, but it's the playoffs. So I feel like if he has to get at least like 30 a game to at least compete with Luka.
yeah, especially with Paul George's disappearing act. You never know.
And Luka, like he was nowhere to be found fourth quarter, really. I think it's pretty even to me. I gotta go into 7. But
I would love that, man. This is a fun game. I would love it to get
I
stretched
really
out.
like this matchup because like Luka and Kawhi, like I feel like it's a good stage for them right now. Like
Yeah. So I think something that you can the plus minus usually shows is the Clippers bench got it done. You look here at the Clippers bench, you got Reggie Jackson, you got Ibaka, and you got Batum, and they're all plus 11, plus 13, plus 6. Mavericks bench, you got Melly, you got Powell, you got Cauley-Stein. They're all in the negative. So when Doncic and Hardaway and Porzingis are off the floor for those few minutes, the Clippers held up. But huge performance from Finney-Smith. I mean, we didn't get 4 or 5 from 3 from him.
yeah,
37 minutes of solid defending. That's everything you could possibly want in your 3 guy. Randy, I know for a fact you're taking the Mavericks in 5.
Duh.
I'm with Randy right there.
Did I guess it in the right amount of games too, or are you taking the sweep?
What did you? No, fuck, not a sweep. I
Okay.
mean, I
Yeah,
love.
I'm not. I wouldn't be. I mean, you took Wizards in 7, so.
Hey, eat a dick.
All right.
No,
So what are you
but
taking?
I'm taking I didn't even get to tell you my fucking take, asshole.
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah.
I just give me your whole thing. I just mean go take the floor, please.
No, man, I like Luca. I know you dislike him because he complains a fuck ton.
So much. I fucking hate it.
But I hate Paul George that much more, bro.
I know. I believe it.
Playoff George is shit, bro. And he proved it first half. Yeah, he did have a decent second half, but it ain't the Clippers year. I'm sorry, LA fans. You ain't getting LA versus LA this year. Hell no, brother. We're gonna get the Mavs, man. I think I'll give you my prediction right now. As much as I wanted to go to 7, I'm gonna go ahead and take Mavs in 5. Then you're gonna see Paul George get traded. And does Kawhi stay with the Clippers? And now there's rumors. I know he wanted LA. There's rumors that came out today from a few NBA insiders that he wants to sign with the Heat, that he's very interested in the Heat next season. So, I think it depends how they play in. Is the front office going to get him better weapons?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know like if the cap sheet works for this, if we have the pieces to trade for him, but what about Kawhi to the Spurs? I'm just kidding.
You watch your mouth. I mean, they'll have lots of money next year because I think
140 million. Come on,
Yeah.
Kawhi, take it all. You have all 140. We don't need it.
He's coming to the Rockets, baby.
Dude, everybody's leaving LA. He can leave LA again.
Yeah, right. That's like the celebrity trend. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone just follow Joe Rogan to Austin. Come on.
Yeah, we'll all follow Joe Rogan. Just follow the path.
Okay, so Randy, Mavericks in 5. Let's go on the list here. I'm gonna go. Ooh, I'm supremely happy. My notes. I do not have this one predicted. I can't decide. I think I'm gonna go Mavericks in 6. Every part of me wants to go Clippers here because I talked a big game about Paul George coming through and then pulling out this series. But after this game, man, I just don't know. I think that Luka is probably going to be the most consistent player in this series, as much as I love Kawhi, Kawhi's game. But yeah, I'm gonna go Mavericks in 6. David.
If Luka continues to break down this supposed great defense of LA, I think Mavericks in 5. I mean, I don't see it going. I don't see it going more than 6. But I think strong 5. Mavs.
Wavy.
Taking Mavs in 7.
7. Nah, that's what I hope for, bro. Honestly, I want a long series
Because I feel like Kawhi will show up, and Kawhi, he's a player, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he gets to his spot better than anyone, bro.
He didn't get that ring with Toronto, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't a fluke. Like, he's a baller, so I feel like they definitely go at it. But I feel like Luka and the Mavs, the way they're shooting, for sure. Yeah.
Let's talk.
But I really just want them to be dispatched early so I can just hear the rumors.
Yeah,
And
yeah, true.
Just watching Glee will
And,
happen with this team.
So look, let's do this real quick. In talk of in terms of panic rating, who's number 1? Who is the number 1 if we lose early this year? Hit the panic button, trade away 2 guys, like, because I'm still gonna have to go the Bucks, but the Clippers are up there. Would anyone
Honestly, this is gonna be a
Sixers.
random take. I think it'll be the Blazers. I mean, we'll talk about it more in the series, but I think the Blazers have done so much, and they have like a dead deer in their doorsteps. That is the Denver Nuggets, and they just need to win. They need to just. I mean, if they don't get through this series with an injured team like the Nuggets, what else can they do at this point? I don't think. I mean, obviously, in a national level, the Bucks would be a big one. The Clippers would be a big one, but I think the Blazers would be another team that's up there because, I mean, they reached the conference finals, and everyone, every time I bring it up, people forget that they reached the conference finals
because they
years
had
ago.
the easiest road
Mhm.
there in
Yeah,
like history.
and they ran
The
into the
game,
Warriors.
though. Game was
Yeah.
just,
I mean, look, I'm not.
But he's also in his
We're
30s.
gonna get to that series, bro. They tore him
Yeah.
up, but no, yeah, I agree though. Trailblazers are up there because it's like at this point, what do you do? Because you're right, you have a Nuggets team without their second best player. So
I got the Sixers.
I just think they're a little young to panic. Honestly, I think that's all it is. I mean, they're both 24 years old.
if they all right, so if they lose to the Wizards, which is gonna happen,
I love it. I love
Oh
it.
shit.
Ben Simmons is out, bro. It's either Simmons or Embiid. Simmons
It's not
can't.
Embiid. I'll tell you that. It's not
So-
Embiid.
And it'll be, if
Simmons
it was
is-
one or
it's
the
gonna be
other, it'll be
Simmons,
Simmons.
bro.
So it
Yeah.
looks like Simmons.
It'll be
Simmons is going to
Simmons.
be. Simmons is going to be a Clipper, and Paul George is coming to be a Sixer.
Honestly, that I love that for the Sixers. Sheesh, if you can get
That's a
Paul
bad
George
trade. I would not take that trade. No.
for if you're who, the Clippers or the Sixers.
Dude, just have Danny Green convince Kawhi to go to Philly.
I mean the Sixers. I wouldn't take Paul George.
Oh
Fuck
fuck,
that.
man, I love Paul. Yeah, how man? Imagine this team had Harden right now, the 76ers. I think this team would be masterful with Harden if they would have pulled through.
I forgot he was supposed to go there.
Uh huh. That would
Yeah.
have been insane. Randy, how would you feel if you had to root for the 76ers?
I'm not rooting for any team but the Rockets, baby. Don't get it twisted. I'm a Rockets fan.
Okay, did everyone give their predictions? So we got Mavericks in 7, Mavericks in 5, and then 2 Mavericks in 6s, I think.
Yeah.
All right, let's move down to the. I think I'm gonna have to order a little bit here. Trailblazers and Nuggets. Oh no, I didn't. No, I'm in order. Trailblazers and Nuggets. Trailblazers won the first game. That's 1-0, 123 to 109. Jokic dominated as we
Yeah.
expected, but as did Lillard. And I think we all can agree that the
MVP.
Blazers overall have a better
MVP
supporting cast. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, undisputed. MVP.
He's the MVP. Like, just stop saying that, Steph. Steph
Yeah,
don't make
that-
playoffs.
I don't care. I don't care about Steph's
Bro, how
ring,
did
bro.
how LeBron says that and now he's just MVP. He's
Mhm.
MVP contender. Like,
Well,
come on.
LeBron is setting up for when Curry wants to leave in 2 years, right? And he's just kind of trying to pull them over. Randy, another. This is probably your most diehard. This is your most diehard ride or die take through this playoffs. This is the Trailblazers to the Western Conference Finals. Would
hell
you see? No? Okay. I thought,
No,
I
no,
thought
no,
it
no,
was.
no. Do you see my name? You see my name on the Zoom call, baby?
Blazers in 7.
It's no longer the Western Conference Finals, baby. They're
Oh,
going
no.
to the finals. My Rockets are out, and I'm rooting for the Blazers, bro. That's my number one team. Dame time, bro. We already have that bet going on. If they don't make it,
Uh-huh.
whatever, bro. I'm riding.
We have a couple. We have
hard.
a couple bets.
And
We have.
I
and
wanna
then
know the
considering
bet.
considering
I
how
wanna
the
know
rest
this bet.
Wait.
Oh,
So
what's
Go
your
okay.
ahead.
Okay, there's the bet of if the Jazz sweep the Grizz, you buy me any shoe in Foot Locker, right?
Yeah,
And then what is the Trailblazers bet? Is there one on that?
I shave my head.
Oh yes, yeah. You
The
you shave your beard. I shave my head.
No, fuck no. We ain't doing
You-
beard, brother. We said
You,
head.
you
I
agreed
never-
to it.
Proof. Please,
All right.
free proof.
All right, David, go. David, take it away, man. Talk about the series while I look this up.
As like I said earlier, the Blazers, I mean, this is where they just need to win this series. I mean, they don't win this series. I think Stouts is out. I don't think they would trade Lillard or McCollum, but Lillard is already in his 30s, and usually that age for point guards, unless you're CP3, is not really a good age to be at, especially if you haven't won anything. But I mean, considering what going off what Randy said, I mean, looking at the West, I mean, the Blazers have as much chance to win it all, just as every other team. 1 through 8 of the West, there's nobody overbearing. There's nobody that will like destroy you. Every series is gonna be hard fought. Everybody's gonna do what they're supposed to do, but the Blazers have to win the series. The trajectory of this franchise will change depending on what happens in the series. Jokic is gonna play his heart out. Aaron Gordon's gonna shoot 20 times and miss mostly everything. Michael Porter Jr. Depends on what he's going to do, but I just don't think that they have enough firepower without Jamal Murray. I mean, Jamal Murray was going off for like 50-point games in the playoffs last year. I mean, he shows up, and he's shown that when the lights are big, Jamal Murray is the biggest player on the team besides Jokic. So to me, I mean, Trailblazers have got to win this series. Like, no bullshit about it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Wavy, give us your take, man. You see it happening though? I mean, obviously, we all think they need to.
Yeah, they definitely need to. I can see it happening just because Damian Lillard, he's Damian Lillard. Playoff, I feel like this is coming soon. I think he's waving. He's gonna be waving at somebody. But man, yeah, I think the Nuggets, like, they played really well, like, starting off, but I don't think they'll be able to finish these games. Like,
Yeah, I
feel
agree. I
like-
mean, down the stretch, what are you doing? Like, is MPJ ready to take on
Yeah.
that role in the clutch?
And he's good. He's a solid player, but he's still young. He's still I think he's still kind of fresh to the league, but yeah, they have a good squad. Jokic getting the ball every game, but I'm agree with my boy. If Murray's not on the court doing what he does,
Yeah.
then I feel like the Nuggets won't be able to close it out for sure. Not.
Randy, I can't fucking find it. I swore you did, but
Already
I'm like,
found it. Already found it.
I found that part. I found the part where I thought later you agreed to it. I'm not even
Nah.
excited. You have like 2 inches of hair, bro. I'm not tripping about your
And
hair.
But
and then by the way, Paul Millsap played 15 minutes, only scored 3 points.
Yeah, he's
Like,
not.
where the
he's
fuck
not
is he,
Paul,
man?
Yeah, he's not Paul.
Yeah.
Dinosaur.
Yeah.
He's a
they go
dinosaur.
ahead and trade his ass because he's garbage.
And
How
yeah,
much are they
you're
paying
gonna-
him?
you're
They're
gonna
paying him
get-
like 20 mil, right?
You're gonna get
Yeah,
a washing
hell yeah.
machine in return for Paul Millsap. Yeah, I'm gonna say this a lot of the same stuff, guys. I liked this Nuggets team going in with Jamal Murray. I just think when it comes down to it, MPJ still needs to be your third best player in a series right now. I think he has an incredible ceiling, and I'm very excited for his career. But
Mhm.
right now, he's not going to win you any series, and Lillard's going to dominate. McCollum's going to give you 25 guaranteed. And for these purposes, I love having Powell and Covington and guys like that in the mix, just to give you the extra support. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction. I'm gonna take Blazers in 6. I think that it's a pretty heavy 6 too. I think that it feels like a quicker series than it is. I think Jokic alone can grab a game or two, but I'm definitely favoring the Blazers. Randy, Blazers in 7? Or are you going something crazy?
Blazers in 4.
Then why is your name Blazers in 7?
No, that's for the finals. That's for the finals.
Okay,
man.
that's for the finals. All right, when they beat the Nets. Gotcha.
Oh,
They're getting
So,
swept, bro.
the Blazers sweep.
I just don't think Jokic can do it by himself, man. And Michael Porter Jr. is not going to be consistent. If he does become consistent, Nuggets are going to be fucking dangerous next year when Jamal Murray gets healthy.
Mhm.
I just don't see Jokic carrying him. He's going to play the whole game. And at the end of the game, he's not going to be that guy that's going to be able to shoot. And who will? It's not them backup point guards. And then the reason, the West is fucking wide open. Like for the first time in a long time, the West is wide open. Any of these teams can go and make it.
Yeah.
No Warriors. The Lakers are bumped up. It's wide open. And I'm so excited to see the Blazers go to the finals.
All right.
you sound like those folks.
Bro, all right, David. Which way is this breaking?
I think I got the Blazers at 6. In a game like this, especially Jamal Murray, I mean, having any defensive players to stop Lillard or McCollum, like Torrey Craig, who killed the Spurs a couple of years ago. I forgot the other guy they had last year. He was with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He went off for them last year in the playoffs, but the name escapes me. But having no strong defensive presence to stop Lillard, Lillard's going to go nuts. He's going to have his way with this team. There's not a guard that's going to stop. I mean, not like Murray was a lockdown defender by any means, but he, at least the points he brought, alleviated some of the damage the other point guard did.
Yeah.
I think Blazers in 6. I mean, they need to win. They just need to win. I mean, it doesn't matter how many games they win. They just need to win.
Yeah.
And I would love for Lillard to at least reach the finals. I've loved Lillard since he came into the league. I think he deserves that. He deserves that chance. I think he probably will get far. I don't know. It depends on how the rest of the playoffs shake down. But I mean, like Randy said, the whole West has an opportunity to win. It's not just 1 or 2. It's 1 through 8.
Agreed. 1 through 7. So I know. Oh God, here we go.
You never know.
Wavy. Which way is this breaking? Trailblazers, I'm assuming.
Yes, I take Blazers in 6 as well.
Okay.
I feel like CJ McCollum and Dame Dollar. This is a good duo. Right now, Jokic, he's going to do his thing every night. But if his squad don't come through, Michael Porter Jr., he could drop 20. He dropped 25 today. I feel like that might be like the most he could really do.
The ceiling.
25.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that.
And even if so, he drops a little more. I don't think it'll fall through for them. So I got Blazers in 6 for sure.
We got 3 Blazers in 6, and we got a Blazers in 4. Man, if that one goes through, I mean, I'll give you credit for sure.
For real though.
Right. Last series, Lakers and Suns. This one, I'm gonna go back. This is the hardest series to predict. I said it was the Mavericks and Clippers. This easily is it because look, the Suns have been an excellent team all year. They're a couple weird games away from being the number 1 seed, and getting to avoid this matchup. But man, going into this, bro, I mean, obviously you can't bet against LeBron. I was really discouraged because I was like, man, I don't want CP3 to have to get knocked out by LeBron round 1. I want to see CP3 go further. But I mean, in pretty heavy fashion, they won this game. So me and Randy missed this one. We were at a baseball game today. I feel like I've said that about like 3
Yeah, I
series.
only watched the highlights. I didn't get to have any. I didn't get any
Yeah,
notes down.
watch the highlights as well.
Yeah, I watched the majority of it.
But look, I mean, we don't have to talk about this one insanely. David, I'll have you take it away first and talk about this game. But I mean, we can just kind of talk about our pre-series notions because once again, it's only one game. So, Randy, sorry, David, what went down today?
My pre-notion, I think I started off when I'm saying like a couple of these games where I was like, it's going to go this way, and then it went the entire wholly different direction. My series it's like LeBron hasn't been out of the playoffs as early as the Eastern Conference semis since 2010, and ever since he's been in the playoffs since 2011, he's seen the finals. So just like you can't bet against history, but he hasn't looked right. He hasn't looked right at all, and I was just like, maybe we'll see, but we'll see how this goes. He hasn't looked right in the play-in. Let's see when he's in an actual 7-game series if he can do his damage. And he did have a nice stat. He did have what was it, 18, 10, and 7? No, 18, 7, 10, my bad. But the big X factor that I totally forgot about was Monty Williams was there for early AD. And he kind of developed, was in the early development of AD.
Yeah.
And somebody pointed it out on Twitter, which I totally forgot about. And he threw a lot of doubles at LeBron and AD, and it kind of threw off their rhythm. The big thing though is CP3 going down. I thought that this is where the Lakers are gonna like take over, and then Devin Booker held it down. I think they built like a 12-point lead, if I don't remember. I think they were within like 5 or 6, and then they kind of built a lead. But CP3 being out, there was times where the Suns kind of got stuck with the offensive rhythm, and where CP3 kind of helped them figure it out when he was on the court. But he left the game twice, and they did come back. He did make a couple of plays down the stretch. What I saw is that the Lakers don't look right. They look hurt. LeBron, something's wrong with his ankle, and even he admitted that something was wrong with his ankle. AD I thought he was going to tear apart Ayton as he did a couple of weeks ago, and Ayton I think he took that game personally and just ate his lunch today. I'm not sure if he can keep that consistent because Ayton has times where he's disappeared throughout the year. But he showed up today. But the Lakers don't look right, top to bottom. I think this is the whole team just doesn't look right.
Haven't looked right all year. Not all year. I mean, I think the downfall for this Lakers team that's potentially going to have them lose this series is their bench. Their bench is absolutely garbage. Like I think it may be the worst bench in the NBA in the playoffs right now. I mean, they got names. They got
regular season names. Yeah.
They got names, but I mean, they weren't even regular season names this season. Like LeBron, I'm sorry if that shit hit the mic again. But fuck, I lost my train of thought. Anthony Davis was out, LeBron was out, and the guys that stepped in were fucking garbage. I just don't think it's the Lakers' year. Like, I'm glad they won it for Kobe last year. Rest in peace to the GOAT. But this year's not it, man. If LeBron's not 100% and AD had a shit game, like if you're Anthony Davis, 7 boards ain't gonna get you right there. 13 points ain't gonna get you a fucking win. Sorry.
Yeah. What's insane is like this is the only out of all the teams that played their game ones, which is now every team, they are the only team to not have a single player shoot 20 shots. It's just a jarring box score to see them have 90 points, LeBron 18, Anthony Davis, who just lit up the Suns for 42 last week, only gives you 13. And then usually if you're like, oh, LeBron scored 18, AD scored 13. So what, did Schroeder go off? No. Did Drummond have a crazy game? No. Did
They
Kuzma
call
come in?
Kuzma have off.
Did Kuzma come in and have a night? No, 0 points, 0-2. And so
They kept Ingram.
no one had a night, man. No one had a night, and that is completely unacceptable.
And I think this speaks to a larger problem with the Lakers. I mean, look at all these guys that went off to other places and just did well. They're just not a good development team. They've never been. They've just always gotten lucky with the players they gotten. They landed Kobe through a trade through Charlotte because Charlotte didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And they look at Randall, look at Ingram, look at Jordan Clarkson, Utah. I mean, they're going to regret doing all these moves just to have the window of glory back again. Because once LeBron and AD leaves, like, what do they have to develop after this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's my question.
You're praying to God that Taylor Horton Tucker turns into the next LeBron, I guess.
Oh, him and Caruso are going to be the Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, according to what I hear on the internet. Jesus fucking Christ, dude!
Hell no, bro.
Every time they steal the ball from Caruso or they fucking just deck his ass, I'm just like so happy. I'm tired of talking about Caruso on Twitter.
And Andre Drummond, bro, like 9 boards. Come on, dude. You're supposed to be a dominant center. You cried about
Yeah,
leaving.
he's one of the best rebounders of all time. Man.
The only thing good he did this year was reactivate LaMarcus Aldridge's heart arrhythmia. It's the only thing he did. Or LaMarcus basically got schooled in that one game against the Nets, and he went like, "Yeah, my heart hurts again."
Like you cried about leaving the Pistons. You went to the Cavs, wanted out of there. Then you're finally with the Lakers because you want to win a ship, and you're fucking getting 9 boards, dude. Like, come on, I can get fucking 9 boards.
Oh, could you? Yeah, man. Anthony Davis, man, minus 18 for a team low. Minus 18 for your second or arguably best player right now. I mean, that's unacceptable. Wadey, what were you thinking coming into this series, man?
So like I'm huge on CP3. I feel like everywhere he goes, he has an impact. But I feel like Devin Booker's probably the most perfect piece he's had in his career, because
someone who hates to pass, loves to score. CP3 is like, I got you.
Yes, he gives him the ball. He because Devin Booker's as pure of a shooter as it can get. Like, stroke is there.
Yeah.
34 points. Ayton showed up. I feel like the Suns have the squad to take the Lakers out. LeBron, I don't see it anymore. I don't see he's shooting too much for me. Some are going in, but I just feel like he's not going to be able to do it this year. The Laker squad, Laker bench,
it's not it.
Yeah.
I mean, to push back on that, I mean, he can't really create when there's nobody to shoot the damn ball. I mean, Wes Matthews is the shell of himself, which it took a couple of years, but it finally hit him. Caruso, I mean, everybody knows who Caruso is, so he's not gonna surprise you anymore. Kyle Kuzma is gonna disappear and just float into the corner like he usually does too. I mean, this is a very mediocre squad. I mean, this is like borderline laughable how bad the Lakers team is sometimes. And LeBron, I mean, I don't think it's any more of LeBron and AD is all you need. I think they need more from Schroeder, who looked awful. Even against a very injured CP3, he still looked, he was awful. So they need another guy. And honestly, I'm looking at the roster, I'm like, there's nobody else that can show up. It's literally LeBron and AD have to take control of the series or they're in trouble.
Yeah, man. Playoff Rondo was their savior.
AD's really streaky in the playoffs too. AD's really streaky. Like he could be balling one night and then be like he's invisible on the court the next. Like
every New Orleans.
And also, you're kind of waiting for
too. Even in the
you're
finals,
kind of waiting for him to get injured too. It's AD's always just like, when's the ball going to drop on his legs, as it usually does. It's like, is he going to get injured again? It hasn't really. It didn't happen last year, and it kind of bed jumped this year. So just like, is he even healthy? Is LeBron even healthy? Like, this team is just broken, and the Suns need to just go in for the kill. Hopefully CP3 is all right. I don't think they're in too much trouble if CP3 is still a little hobbled, but I mean, it's going to be pretty laughable if the Phoenix just kind of figures out how to put this team away and later on in the series.
Did Chris Paul look okay after that fall?
The first time, not so much. The second, because of what he did. It was kind of a weird freak injury.
It was
Like
weird, man.
I think I forgot who was going up for a layup, but his shoulder went into him, and then like he couldn't really move his shoulder. A little funny side note: if you watch the replay, Kyle, the trainer from the Phoenix Suns, they had like an overhead camera. He like just jumps in and just pushes Schroeder away, and him and Schroeder just have a little like back and forth. I thought it was hilarious. He literally just pushed his ass
So
away.
did anyone else see the LeBron Chris Paul entanglement that led to
Yeah,
LeBron
it
being
was-
on the ground for like a minute?
LeBron got hit by a fucking airplane again.
I can't stand it, man. I can't. Him and his flopping, bro. Look, GOAT. He's my GOAT. I don't care. But he is so
Over Jordan?
fucking over Jordan. Yeah, that's a whole fucking conversation. I agree. But
Yeah, it's another
he
hour
is
we don't
so
have.
goddamn dramatic. He's a dramatic player. You don't have to sell yourself. We know it's dramatic. You're LeBron in the playoffs. You make the finals every year. That's what you do. You don't have to sell it. Like, the eye thing with the Warriors. And I get it. You get poked in the eye. Like, that shit hurts. It affects you for a minute. But when he's in the post-game interview, I saw 3 rims. I shot at the middle. Like, bro, you made one of
Dude,
the
that
great-
was the fucking corniest shit I've ever
you
seen in my
made,
life.
Bro.
you made
I aim for the cinnamon.
you made an all-time playoff shot. That is going to go in 10 years. People are going to watch that shot when you watch playoff compilations. You can't make it any more dramatic than it already was. It was great. You don't have to fucking sell it to us. We're already buying it, bro. You're LeBron. Same thing. Chris Paul literally bumps his shoulder. He's on the ground for a minute and he's like writhing in pain. It's like always with this shit, man, since like the beginning of his career. And you don't have to sell us, bro. We're in. You're LeBron. We're watching.
How about you leave them alone, okay?
Yeah, I mean, there's always argument. I'm at home like LeBron. You fucking suck, bro. What are you doing?
Did you see what Draymond Green's finger did to Harden's eye?
Hey,
Yo, Draymond got some
you
stank
bring
on
me
that
the
finger.
laptop
So
charger?
I mean, LeBron was probably sitting there for a minute and he was smelling
Please, mama.
dookie. That's what it was probably happening. LeBron was like, "Bro,
Thank you, but I don't think you
I
saw it.
know
If
I
anyone-
don't smell shit right now."
If
bro.
anyone's
There's
on the
no way."
sideline picking their ass, it's Draymond Green. I'll tell you.
Exactly. So I mean, I get it. LeBron fucking was there for like 30 minutes crying. He looked stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
But man,
And
he
then
was
you saw
probably
his
like,
eyes. You're just like, what the? Like you didn't get hit in the eye.
Yeah, he was like,
shit.
he was
At least
walking out
Harden
this,
had like a fucking like burned out retina.
and
like,
he was
when
like,
he got
he
hit
was,
in the
he
eye.
was selling the shit out of it. LeBron was walking around like this the whole fucking game. It was like,
I-
bro, come on. Man. You get it.
I think it was more like, man, that dookie is fucking me up right now. That's what it was.
That shit smell.
Dude, that's
Uh.
true. Draymond Green, he just fucking goes in his underwear and just puts under the nose of his fucking player that he's
Exactly.
defending.
Exactly. Like fucking A.
He's like, what did I eat today?
And he couldn't have Draymond
That
couldn't have
Taco
been
Bell's
more
come back to
fucking
bite me.
open.
Then
He couldn't have been more open for the Grizzlies. I mean, the Warriors' last shot against the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
People just
man.
let him,
He
man.
got
They
spooked
smelt
on
him.
that shot.
They fucking smelt him. They're like, all right, bro, like shoot what you got to shoot. And he fucked that shit up.
dude,
all right.
Draymond probably stinks up the locker room, man. God damn.
I'm gonna.
Shit.
Yo, when did this turn into a Draymond shit show?
Well, I had to
No
get it
pun
off
intended.
LeBron. I had to get it off LeBron, bro, because y'all were making my man's cry. He'd be listening every Monday or Tuesday.
I
all
know,
right.
and then all the Phoenix fans are gonna come up to us because he got fired up after what we said.
So I'm
Suns and 4.
gonna holy shit. I can't go against LeBron, man. I get it. They look terrible tonight. I'm gonna go Lakers in 7, just because I've always said I'm not gonna bet against LeBron. And maybe after this year that'll change, but I'm gonna ride it.
He's not Tom Brady.
I mean, 10 finals appearance, 10 straight. What was it, like 9 or 10 straight finals appearances? I can't go against it.
Where he lost the majority of them.
Yeah, that's true. This might be the last time, but I'm riding until the end. Pause. LeBron in 7.
I
Randy.
got they're not gonna sweep them. I was kidding. I got
Okay.
Suns in 6. If LeBron's not 100%, AD's not 100%, no one else is carrying you on that team. Kuzma's not. And if Caruso comes out and fucking scores 40, I will suck his dick. No pun intended. But for sure, I got Suns winning. I want them to. Like I'm like die hard right now
I
for the
want them to win
Trailblazers.
so bad.
Like I'm diehard right now for the Suns, just because I want to see CP3 win it. Too bad he's gonna lose in the next round to the Blazers, but you know,
That's too bad, man. All right, so we got Suns in 6 there. Wavy, what do you see?
I really want the Suns to win, and I could see them winning it too. Yeah, LeBron and the gang, LeBron and AD. It's not this year. They don't got the juice this year. But I feel like Devin Booker has been waiting for this opportunity.
Yeah.
First time in the playoffs. He hasn't won a scoring title. But he could score. He averages a lot. And yeah, I think playoff Devin Booker, CP3, they'll make it happen against the Lakers for sure.
David.
If the Lakers just continue to perform this way, I think this could be a pretty early series. I think LeBron's going to win you a game or two, but this team as a whole just doesn't look right. Like I said, LeBron just looks like he's playing through pain. AD just doesn't look right either. Monty Williams is coached his fucking ass off, and the hands off to expert Monty Williams. I really want, more than anybody on the Phoenix Suns, I want him to be successful with everything that he's lost, everything that he's gone through in his life. I mean, this dude, more than anybody in this playoffs, deserves at least a shot at the championship. So I hope Suns dispatch him in 5. You let them linger around. I mean, let the Lakers kind of get healthy. LeBron and AD, I mean, they're just not it right now, and I don't think they have it all to will this team into a series victory. So Suns in 5.
Man, I'm watching the Grizzlies fucking hoop out over here to my left. It is insane. This game's happening.
Man, how much our prediction has grown.
It's 10:55 on Sunday night, and Dylan Brooks has 29 points. John Moran has 20. I just watched him with a beautiful driving layup.
and when we talked about it, Jean Moran had 10 points.
Mike Conley is trying to will the Jazz back into it. They made a comeback. They were down 22 at one point when I looked over, but God, John Morant in that floater game just looks insane. So I'm excited to see how this one ends up. And yeah, I mean, I think we all took Grizzlies, so it's looking good right now. We'll see how Mitchell fares.
I'm pretty sure you took the Jazz, brother.
You did.
I was thinking Memphis in 6. I think Jazz in 6. Yeah. And once again, like I said, that is based on Mitchell. Rudy Gobert just fouled out of the game, so they're fucked. So we can look away from that one. All right, guys, this was fun. Trying to think, man. I feel like I want to ask a curveball question here. Who's the? I feel like Dylan Brooks is the obvious answer here. Who's the player who comes out of the woodwork and balls out, wins a series or comes close to winning a series for his team?
Not named Dylan Brooks.
Not yeah. You can pick Dylan Brooks if you want. That's the obvious answer. I just outed that one. Randy, who are you thinking?
Russell Westbrook.
Okay. I should have known. I mean, I was looking for like a more unknown player, but you're right. I mean, if they win that series, obviously it's because Westbrook balled out.
All right, unknown. Let me think. Caruso. No. It's Westbrook, bro. I'm staying with Westbrook, bro.
I should have known, man. I'm just throwing in this curveball question. This is gonna be a fucking disaster. David, does anyone come to mind, man? It's a tough question.
Yeah, if I'm not trying to think about Dylan Brooks, and I have sexual thoughts about Dylan Brooks right now. It's hard. I mean, not me, but the idea.
Oh my god.
Damn, that's really hard.
Like mine's gonna be Tyler Hero. I think that if the Heat are gonna win this series, that Hero needs to come back. Obviously, everyone knows the name. I'm not gonna say he's unknown, but he struggled yesterday. He has been a shell of what he was in the finals last year, in that whole playoff run last year. And
I also think that teams have just figured him out too.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of playing in his head, kind of Lonnie Walker-ish.
He was putting 30 points up a game, and he just hasn't been able to do that this year at all. And if the Heat are going to win that series, that he's going to need to put up a little bit more. So I'm going to go and say Tyler Hero is going to be my surprise player of the first round.
My thing is, I think if CP3 is injured or he's not playing dead as he usually does, Mikal Brooks is probably a big one. Aiden has disappeared every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think Mikal Bridges, not Brooks. Sorry,
No,
thinking
you're
about
good.
Dylan Brooks now.
Yeah, no, I picked up what you're putting down.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges is a big one. Can he be the guy that plays a little bit defense, helps Phoenix at least contain LeBron because he's the guy that's usually on LeBron. I think he's the guy that I want to look out for. I don't think he's going to break out, but he's also an important piece. If he scores like 15 a game, gets some rebounds, plays some good defense, I think he'll be big. Finney Smith too. He's been overdue for a breakthrough. Just a couple of those players. I don't think anybody's going to touch Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is having himself a show, but
Yeah.
at least a little bit a guy to come out of the woodwork to help the team. Kind of like I said, Torrey Craig did against the Spurs a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
He came out and he got himself a contract. Now he's on the Bucks, not doing anything. But yeah, to Dylan Brooks, I think to me is far and away the guy that's going to break out.
Yeah. Wavy, does anyone come to mind, man?
Yeah, I was gonna pick Finney Smith. He mentioned him. Finney Smith or Tim Hardaway. I feel like if both of them keep being consistent like that, I feel like the Mavs are definitely gonna be a
Tim
problem.
Hardaway is one of the weirdest under the radar consistent hoopers in the league. It's
Bro,
it's
Tim
so
Hardaway,
it's so
man.
strange because like he's
I've liked
never
him since he was on the Knicks too.
he's never a guy
That's his-
that like
I
is
like him
gonna,
since Michigan.
he's never gonna headline ESPN, but it seems like as he struggles, it's still pretty consistent that he's like the second or third best player on that team, and it's a pretty good team, and so it's weird that he goes so under the radar. Yeah,
I know. When I watch the Spurs games, he reminds me of like what Tobias Harris was. Where it's just like, man, if he just had a little bit extra gear, he could probably do something.
Yeah,
And I think he's gonna, like I said earlier in the podcast, I think he's gonna earn himself into a $20 million plus contract. Somebody's gonna pay for him next year.
yeah.
I think the Mavericks will lose him next year. I would like him on the Spurs if it went for $20 million, but because they need a guy who can shoot the ball and create.
We got money to blow this year, bro. Come on.
I ain't giving $20 million to the offspring of Tim Hardaway. So
Oh man,
15 million is a good one, but not 20 million.
guys, this was fun. Anyone else have any last notes?
I do.
Okay, please. That's why
Blazing
this
seven.
is why I ask.
Is Derrick Rose the worst MVP of recent time?
Oh Jesus!
Oh.
Oh God, I hate this conversation.
Is it the worst MVP?
Go ahead,
That's my take. To be fair, I have backed off this a little bit and said it's Westbrook. I don't want to do this, bro. Okay. David, who had the worst MVP season of your recent memory? I can't believe we're going to do this.
Well, Derrick Rose had in terms of who was playing that year, you take LeBron out. LeBron's MVP every year. But you take LeBron out, I think Derrick Rose had a great year that year. I think in terms of like marquee names, I think Jokic is going to be the worst one. I think Giannis, he went back to back, right? If I'm not mistaken.
He did.
I think his campaign the first time was kind of a little overrated. I think he was just something new and fresh. So people were like, oh, this is the boat we're going to rock on. I think he had the worst year his first year. Last year, he did really well. I think he deserved his second one. This first one was kind of, I disagree with that first one.
Should have been Harden.
Yeah, it should have been Harden.
Every year should have been Harden.
Pretty much.
Wavy, who's your worst MVP? of the last 10 years?
Giannis Antetokounmpo or whatever how you.
Acapulco.
Oh, come on, bro.
Acapulco.
Back to back.
Yeah,
He's-
I'm gonna back off. a little
You
bit.
don't freak on the Greek.
No.
Westbrook's
I can't
triple
rock with
double,
him,
bro. Westbrook's triple double is the most overrated end of
Kyle.
season stat ever. I'm
And his
sorry.
30% 3-point shot.
He was pushing Steven Adams. He was pushing Steven Adams out of the way to make sure he got that average.
I will never bring this up again. I just wanted to make sure
Thank
that
you.
it was
Yeah,
well
that-
known.
There was the last game. Westbrook needed like a certain amount of rebounds to get the triple double, and Steven Adams was boxing out and letting the ball bounce to make sure Westbrook could get it. And it was like, are we really
I
gonna
saw
celebrate?
those
Are we
clips,
really
too.
gonna celebrate this, bro? Like if Steven Adams is going out of his way to make sure Westbrook gets these stats, I was like,
Hey,
And
if I got a guy who got me $20 million, I'll let him do whatever he wants.
yeah, that's
I was like, you want me to let this ball bounce? I'll let it bounce. You want me to jump on one leg? Whatever.
All right, boys, we're gonna cut this off. There's 1 minute left in this Jazz game. We're gonna turn this off so we can watch the end of the stretch here. It was a fun one. It was a fun one. It's 108 to 104. Jazz have the ball. Holy shit! All right, we're ending this recording. Later, guys.